Welcome back, everybody. So good to see you again. I hope you're enjoying your summer and not sweating to death like I am. But if you are, just know fall and winter, the superior seasons are on the horizon. So today, we're back in the gym. We're back with base strength AI. I keep calling it base camp AI. Base strength AI. We are doing the 70s powerlifter program on here. It is week 1, day 3. So last week, day 1, I'll tell you what, man, that amount of volume that I did with bench press, I was so sore. Sore like I had not felt soreness since probably like early on in my weightlifting and gym career, like newbie gains sore. But it went away relatively quickly. I was a little concerned about that. One of the ways that I measure recovery is by soreness, obviously. I mean, no duh. But today, so this is full 72 hours post that first training day, no soreness in the pecs, minimal soreness in the pecs, minimal soreness in the shoulders. So we've got overhead press today. I wanted to walk you through the intro because I kind of skipped over it on the last one. So when you go into the app and you start your training, you get your general warm-up, which is I've already done. I don't usually love the general warm-up that they give because it's kind of just pat warm-up. I like to do something specific to the movement, so I've already done a lot of shoulder and tricep warm-up. So they ask you your current body weight, your sleep quality, 6 to 8 hours of sleep for me, yes, I hit that. I actually slept well last night. Training mood, feel pretty good, feel normal, ready to train. Recent nutrition, 8 sufficient calories for maintenance. I am cutting, so I'm gonna put 8 sufficient calories for cutting. My perception of strength, my perception of being able to speak is 0, but my perception of strength, feeling normal, yeah, I would say so. Soreness in your pushing muscles, pecs, shoulders, triceps. Normal, I would say feeling a little tired and weak is the option that they gave me. Pulling muscles feel normal, lower back feels normal. Glutes and hamstrings feels weak because I squatted and the squats took it out of me. Quads definitely feeling weak. And then it has a mindset preparation. I like this because a lot of times we can just kind of lock out or lock into the gym and not even worry about anything else around us. But it's important to always take into account this is not just a physical sport, this is also a mental sport. So today, my preparation, let's see, what do I want to focus on today? I'd like to focus on actually staying present in the individual movements. I think that's something that I've been working on. I usually like to zone out, but with bigger compound movements like overhead press and stuff, my form could be a little bit better. So I want to stay present in each movement. So that's again, one of the things that I like about these AI apps. Now, base camp or base strength, dude, I'm going to keep calling it base camp. Base strength is not different. And, Juggernaut does this, Evolve AI does this, but it's powerful. And I think it's something that you can really lean on, especially if you're starting out. I think these apps really have value for early intermediates or late beginners. So that's my rant. I'm not sponsored by the app at all. I like Bromley. I like testing out these apps and stuff and giving you a good view of what each and every app does. So we're gonna do a couple warm-up sets. I don't know where I'm at. It's supposed to be an RPE 6. We got 10 reps. I don't know where I'm at for overhead press, but I will talk to you through the warm-ups. Hope you're having a good day, everybody. Oh, subscribe to the channel. I'm supposed to say that. Weight selection can be pretty difficult, especially if you're making a transition from like percentage-based training to RPE-based training, or you're jumping into a movement where you don't have a lot of experience to go off of. Like with overhead press, it's not the same for powerlifters as squat, bench, deadlift. Like I have a huge library of squat, bench, deadlift that I can go off of to say like, oh, this is usually an RPE 6. So in an environment like that, it's really important to focus in on the warm-ups. So I'm starting with just a yellow, and we're gonna do probably 8 to 10 reps to try and feel it out and say, okay, this is about a 4 or a 5 RPE, or I had 5 reps left. And then you can make your overall call on where your loading should be. It's just a good kind of starting point. So if you're struggling with RPE and weight selection, that can be something. Pay attention to your warm-ups and do them in a rep range that is more similar to the working weight. right, 8 reps there. The difficult thing is it difficult because you're warming up? And so maybe that difficulty is a product of you're not yet warm to the movement. You're not activated to the movement. I think there's a little bit of that. You know, once I get warm, if I had dropped back to 2 yellows, I think I could probably do 15, 16, 17 reps on this. So you got to balance that. It all comes with experience. So I think what I'm going to do is probably jump to a blue, which is 20 kilos, and see how that feels. And that'll probably give us a more accurate estimation of where we should be for the working weight. It's 4x10, man. It's a lot of volume. Second warm-up set. Let's see. This should give us a better idea. Got the wrist wraps on too. Interesting. I don't know, man. Maybe I count that as set 1. And then add like a 2.5 to each side. I think I'm gonna do that because that was relatively difficult. And it's week 1. I felt like with bench I maybe overshot a little bit. I don't know, we won't know until the next bench press training session, but the thing about the first week of new programs is learning more so than anything else. I find that you get your best work done. I just speak for myself only. I get my best work done on weeks 2 and 3 because I take the lessons I've learned from week 1 with the program and apply them. And I'm not overly fatigued like I usually am on week 4. So weeks 2 and 3 is usually the sweet spot for me in terms of the balance between volume and intensity. Let me know if that's what happens to you, or if you do 4-week blocks or 6-week blocks or whatever. I'm gonna add a black, and we'll count that as set 1. We'll move on from there. There's a lot of pressing today, so I don't think I'm missing anything. Let's log in here. Let's be present. Nice. You did it. I think that was accurate. It's tough with RPE a lot of the times because there's crossover, especially like judging RPE for bigger movements. Like I'm feeling a lot of lower back fatigue because of squats. So my RPE isolated just to my push muscles, my front delts, my delts in general, I would say maybe a 5, but the body is a system. So I think the nitty gritty of fatigue, between systemic fatigue versus local fatigue to the muscle, is really difficult. And so this is where powerlifting, RPE for powerlifting kind of breaks down a little bit in my opinion. Whereas with bodybuilding, especially if you're in a bodybuilding gym where you have like highly specialized equipment like we have now in the modern era, I'm telling you, man, some of these Nautilus machines or some of these Prime machines, you can isolate the friggin' long head of your tricep with some of these machines, man. It's crazy. So you can accurately estimate, okay, my tricep had 2 or 3 more reps. We're not gonna find a perfect system, I don't think, because human beings are not perfect. But I would err on the side of overload rather than undershoot. So, and I think some people undershoot too much with RPE. I'm on my soapbox today. You're getting some valuable information, man. Soak it up. Soak it in. I'm trying to lock in the glutes a little bit more. to take some of that strain off the low back. Lower body, probably not just as important as upper body with overhead press, but very important, especially standing. Very nice. I'm trying to do these as strict as possible too, because it is strict press on the program. Nice. Oh, how's it going? My low back is lit up. Holy moly. One more. Oof. I think this was a pretty wise choice in terms of load. Definitely could have gone for a red on each side, but like I always say, in week one, we don't want to absolutely crush ourselves. We've got to have space to move, space to work. Whew. Take the long-term view, folks. I'd say it never felt perfect today, but it's not supposed to. All right, behind the neck press next, which is always an adventure. And then we have seated pin press, which I have never done in my life. Maybe a little bit of a thirst trap angle here, but it is behind the neck, so. Trying not to rip my hair out of my head doing these. It's a problem with the mullet. Whew. Go a little bit wider with my grip on these. It felt good. I'm glad that I practiced with that movement a little bit before this block, because I'm definitely feeling a lot better. I'm telling you, man, training in that range of motion, if you're struggling with scapular mobility, like I said in a couple vlogs, don't come in and throw a bunch of weight on it, but try it with just a bar. Try it with a PVC pipe. See if you can get behind your head all the way down to your shoulder or to your back. Just see. Like rehab that only includes light band work. I don't know, I'm not a physical therapist, so I might just be talking on my butt here, but if the goal is to get back to lifting heavy weight, you gotta lift lighter weight to build back up, I think. Could be wrong. It's house music today. We've got bonkers going. I listen to a lot of different stuff in the gym. It's kind of crazy. Because it's not traditionally what you would think of as gym music, but house music rules. It's not too in your face so that I can still focus on the movement, which was the goal for the day. Second set here. Probably only 3 sets of this. So it's pinky on the ring for the grip, in case you're curious. Pain-free. Never thought we'd get to that point. Knock on wood, right? All right, I'll see you for set 4. Ooh, I feel like I've been at this rack for an hour. It's only been like 30, 35 minutes. Last set. That'll be interesting when it gets heavier. But for now, very nice. I don't know what the progression is on this program. It might just be volume. I cannot imagine that it's an extra set week to week. We'd end at 7 sets, no chance. So there's got to be a little bit of an intensity progression with that as well. All right, I'm gonna set up a seated pin press, and then I'll probably only film 2 sets of that. Try and keep these vlogs about 20 minutes. And on these upper days, I get about 40 minutes of footage, so we'll see how I feel. Time for a little training philosophy, just the way that I like to program stuff. Usually, when I'm doing not self-limiting movements, what's the opposite of self-limiting? Movements that are a bit easier, so shorter ranges of motion, block deadlifts, pin press from a certain height. I don't love to program them at super high rep ranges because I find that this style of movement helps you learn to work through overloaded weight, helps you learn to grind a little bit more. With like rack pulls or block deadlifts, I usually program those as a way to kind of build confidence in the movement. Also as kind of like a rehab technique, like if, part of the range of motion is giving you too much pain, then we want to eliminate that range of motion for a bit, but still train the movement. All that to say, this is a set of 10. I already did 1 set of 10. And it felt fine. I mean, this is a little light. It's just 10s, 10 keys on each side. This is something I like to do. The reason that I like to do these program reviews is it exposes me to other styles of training. I would never train a pin press for sets of 10, but humbling yourself and putting yourself under the expertise of someone else that you can trust with a modicum of trust. I trust Bromley. I think he's knowledgeable in the space. Allows you to expose yourself to new ranges of motion that you maybe would never do for yourself. So all that to say, we'll see how it goes towards the end of the block. This is set number 2. Let's do it. So I'm coming to a dead stop each time. That's another thing with pin press. Don't just bounce off the pins. That removes the desired stimulus from the movement. The point of pin press in bench or in overhead press is to start from a dead stop, to kind of mimic what happens when you have a dead stop in your lift, to be able to push through a range of motion. Also, I brought it a little bit lower. At the eyes was a little too light and not really what I wanted to work on. Since I'm not really working on strength right now, I'm working on more volume stuff. I wanted a fuller range of motion. So just things to consider when you're going to program a pin press. You don't have to do any of this stuff. You can just throw a pin press in because you like a pin press. But I like to have a little bit more of an idea of why I'm utilizing an implement or an accessory movement rather than just throwing it on there because, some people said pin press will grow your bench press or your overhead press. Why? What's the reason why? Take it one step further, ask the question, and if you can find a satisfactory answer, all the better. If the satisfactory answer is, I just want to do it, that's also fine. So I will see you on the last set. I'll say I definitely think I undershot that one, but we'll adjust. Probably next week we'll go a yellow, maybe a yellow and a black. Whew. God always gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. Today that's lateral raises, and I am his strongest soldier. I hate this exercise. hate. I never thought I would hate an exercise, but I hate that exercise big time. Hate, hate, hate. Also, I'm using the Versa grips. A little bit of an extra cheat, so you don't have to worry about your grip. I got deadlifts tomorrow, so I try and do everything to mitigate any grip fatigue. Although I'll probably wear my straps on deadlift, so I'm just doing it because it's easy. All right, I'm only filming one set of the devil's exercise, the lateral raise. Dude, if you like lateral raises, man, let me know. I hate that exercise. I don't know. I think it's because I have like a bad relationship with my shoulder health. I love like pushing exercises like overhead press and all that, but lateral raises, any type of lateral raise, cable, dumbbell, miss me with that. All right, JM press. Again, another movement that I don't often program in high rep ranges. This is for 15. Let's see. Dude, I am still super fatigued in the chest. Oh my word. Safe to say that amount of volume is crazy. That's why there's not a lot of high frequency on this program. You're only benching once, squatting once, deadlifting once, and overhead pressing one time a week, which seems to be a staple of Bromley's programs, at least the ones he puts out on the internet. Seems to be, and I may be putting words in his mouth, more volume over frequency type of guy. I think maybe that comes from strongman and wanting to build a variety of movements and build work capacity. Whereas powerlifting coaches, we know that we're only ever going to have to compete in 3 implements unless they add the overhead press or they change the bench press. But for now, there's relative certainty that we're only ever going to have to do 3 implements. So why not train the absolute heck out of those 3 implements and get a lot of skill practice rather than a wider base. Bromley's the base and then peak type of guy. I mean, that's base strength, his books. So it makes sense, but it is definitely different than the stuff that I'm used to. It's good to expose yourself to different levels of thinking and programming. All right, this is absolutely smoking my chest right now. So we'll see if we can get 15 good reps. Ooh, big if. Oh. Catching a cramp. Ah. Oh my God. Ooh. 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 Lord, how much is that? 12? I might call it a 12. Good Lord. Oh. I'm not tuned to this volume. All right, I got tricep pushdowns next. Just the standard stuff. I'm not going to film it. So, good day so far. I'll talk to you in the car and we'll wrap it up a little bit. Whew. Fun. What a fun session that was. Usually don't love just shoulders, push work with primary overhead press, but it was a lot of fun. Had a good time, got through everything we needed to get through, didn't absolutely crush myself, so I don't think I'm going to experience that same level of fatigue that I experienced on Monday. But so far, 70s powerlifter, different, challenging, new. Sometimes you've got to wade into different waters, and that's why I like testing all these programs. So I hope you're enjoying me testing a bunch of different stuff. If you are, you can subscribe to the channel, share this video around, leave me a comment about what program you're doing. I'm interested to see how tomorrow goes. Tomorrow's deadlifts. And like I was talking about with the overhead press, my back is a little bit fatigued. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm switching back to conventional deadlift for this block just to kind of give my hips a break. So interested to see what's going on. I'm excited, man. If you had anything you want to ask me, hit me in the comments, join our Discord. I really like making these videos because it kind of feels like I have a bunch of training partners. So hopefully you feel like that when you watch these videos. You feel like you can talk to me, you can give critiques. I got thick skin, man. I can take a lot of stuff. So as long as you're not outright hateful, you know, tell me whatever you want to tell me. That's fine. That's all I got to say. Get strong and stay strong.